Hi there and welcome to the brand new cBuilder. As one of the developers of this project, I'm really excited to show it to you today. And I'm going to go over some of the things that's brand new to help you get up and running straight away. Now, I'm assuming that you've probably been using our older campaign builder for quite a few years. And so I'm going to show you what's new, what's improved, and what can really help your campaign going forward. So as we jump into the campaign builder, you'll hopefully notice it looks quite familiar. You've still got your workspace on the left-hand side and your design menu on the right-hand side. So the same principles apply. Everything is drag and drop, though we've improved a lot of the drag and drop elements to make it a lot more intuitive. But there's some elements you may have noticed we've moved. We've listened to your feedback to make it even more intuitive. So top left, we now have your email subject line. You may remember this used to be top right. Again, we can just click on it and that opens the subject line builder. So you can key in your subject line up here and your preview text over here. In addition to that, we have the emoji picker on the right hand side, and we've now divided this up into categories to make it a lot easier. And if you want to include malmerge fields inside the subject line or preview text, again, the merge tags we've moved over here. So they're nice and easy to include. For example, let's put their first name in and maybe a nice comma. And there we go, perfect. And if you want to, you can use AI and this will scan your campaign and it will write your subject line and preview text for you. There we go, perfect. If you're happy with the changes, click update. If you're not, just click cancel. And the campaign name, so this is the internal name for your reference only of this campaign. This is moved over here, so you can give your campaign a name. And you'll notice in the older campaign builder, top left, we used to have the actions menu. So that was sending a test, previewing it, and the social cards. To make that a lot easier, this is now on screen all the time. So you see here, preview, social cards, send test, and the help menu. So we've made a lot of video tutorials to help you get started, and you can find them all if there's anything that's got you stumped, just here. Or alternatively, reach out to us. And when you're finished designing, the save and exit button is moved to the top right. You may remember it used to be down at the bottom, just to make it a bit easier to find, and so it doesn't get in the way of your design. Right, let's jump into what's really changed and what's really going to help you. So one of the first things that we've added to the design menu at the top here is desktop and mobile view. So when you're designing your campaign, it's in desktop view. With the older campaign builder, if you wanted to see what it looked like in mobile view, you had to enter the preview. But now you can click on mobile and you can see what it's looking like in mobile view straight away. And as you can see, you can actually do your design work from mobile view too. Let's jump back to desktop view. Okay, and one of the other things that we've changed to really improve your workflow is you may remember on the older cBuilder, we had content blocks and structure blocks. So you would first add your structure elements, the wireframe, and then drag and drop your content inside that. So to streamline that, we've combined them into one. You just have content blocks, but you can drag and drop content wherever you like. So you can drop it to the left, to the right, before, afterwards, in between it, everything to give you a lot of customization ability. So let's have a look at that. So over here, we have our content menu, similar to the old one. Let's add an image. So we can drag it across and you see you've got your placeholders here. So like before, we can add before or after, but now you can add to the right of it and to the left of it. So if I dragged it to the right, I've now created a second column and you could add a heading to it and maybe a button. So you can see we've now created a 2-column content group. Now if we wanted to create another content group, you can just drag it across and rather than dropping it inside an existing one, you see the dividing lines, one here and one here. And when you go there, it says new group. So this will be creating a new content group. So we can see here, we've added this one. There we go. Our new content group has been added and that's immediately below our 2-column one that we had before. But remember, if you're looking for a traditional way like you used to with your structure blocks, we've got column containers. So if you open column containers, you've got your classic 1-column, 2-column and 3-column layouts. So you don't have to, if you want to, use the drag to the left, drag to the right feature. So let's add a 2-column container. And you'll notice we've got a 3-column as well. And like before, if you wish to remove an element, you can mouse over it and you've got the familiar control panel with delete, clone, move. Or on the content group, if you want to delete this whole group, here's our control panel for it here. We just click on delete. And if you want to delete an individual element, click on delete. Okay, so in addition to that, we've streamlined a lot of the existing features inside here to make it a lot easier for you to use. So let's take a look at some of them. So the biggest improvement we'll possibly make is to text blocks. This is now done inline and is super easy and super intuitive. So let's add a new text block to our design. Okay, here's our text block. So if you wish to edit a block, we just click on it. And we can see now all the editing is done inline. So we can type our text here. So this makes it super easy. And you'll notice at the top here, we've got the toolbar which enable you to use styling on your text. So again, you can just highlight text, and if we wanted this in bold, click on the bold, and you've got all the color options, underline, italics, etc. One of the other exciting features we've got inside here is how we handle images. So we're going to add an image to our design, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's add an image. Just like before. Now we click on the block to edit it, and here's the familiar file cloud. Let's select our new image. Okay, brilliant. So we've got the image inside our workspace, and you'll notice we've got drag handles around the image. So rather than having to resize it manually through the right-hand menu, we can now drag it to the size. So we can drag and rescale it so it sits absolutely perfectly. And in addition to that, we've used a similar approach for buttons. So this is something you're going to use in a lot of your mailers. Let's add a button to our design. Okay, so here's our button. We click on it. So if you want to set the text on your button, here it is. And you can set your destination URL over here. Just like images, you can size the button using drag handles. So you'll see this button's got drag handles. We can drag it so it looks absolutely perfectly. But remember, inside the settings tab, as you had before, we can set it to full width, fit text, or custom, which we were just doing. Next, we're going to look at spaces. Again, we've streamlined this to make it a lot easier. Let's add a spacer block. So as you remember, spacers, they create blank space between elements. This is perfect if you wish to pixel perfect align something. Now, to set the spacer height, rather than using the design menu on the right hand side, which you had to before, now it's super easy. Mouse over on the spacer, click on it, and you've got drag handles. So you can drag it so it's the perfect size. So that's the blocks that we've streamlined, but we've got a huge array of really exciting new blocks for you to try. Let's take a look at some of these. One of the first ones is super simple, but hopefully super helpful. That's a heading block. Let's drag this across. So rather than adding a new text block each time, here's a heading. So if you want to put heading between sections, drag across a heading block. It's pre-styled in nice big font, and you can click on it and add your own text. Super simple, super quick. And the next one I'm going to look at is an attachment. So this is something that was asked for quite a lot and we've introduced to make it really easy to attach a file or download link to your email. Let's go add one. You'll see over here in the content menu, we've got attachment. So let's drag one across. Here we go, and we've got a button in called download attachment. We can click on it. Like before, you can change the text. And over here, you'll see we can attach a file. So if we've uploaded, say, our prices, select it, and that's attached, ready to use. So when one of your subscribers clicks on that button, the attachment will be downloaded. Nice and easy. The next one's a really cool one if you're showing off products and want to do a showcase. It's called a reel. Let's have a look at it. Here's a reel block. Let's add this across. So we've got a static image here, but if you want to show a few images, let's try doing a reel. This is kind of cool. Let's mouse over and click on it. Right, from here we can specify reels. So a reel is a series of still images that you turn into a looping animation. Let's try creating one and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So we can add up to 10 images. Let's set our first one. So let's just select this image. Let's select our second one. And our next one. Perfect. So I've set 3 images, but you can do a lot more, as you can see. And up here you have time per image. So each image will be on screen for 3 seconds. Okay, let's click on build. Okay, our reel will now be generated and placed into our design. Here we go, perfect. Here's our reel, and it's looping through the 3 images that we set. This is really good to show off new products and services as your hero block. And the next one I want to show you is how you embed video. So let's go add a video block. As before, you can embed YouTube and Vimeo videos into your campaign, but we've now taken this to the next level to really get that attention and wow factor. Let's click on here. And you'll see inside here, we can paste in our video URL just as before, but we now have something called thumbnail type. So by default, it's on static. That's your static traditional thumbnail as you used in the last cBuilder. Now, if you really want to grab attention, try changing it to dynamic video. Let's hit generate and see what happens. Pretty neat, eh? So you can see our YouTube video is now embedded the first few seconds and turned it into an animation inside our campaign. This will really help grab attention and have that wow factor. So next we're going to take a look at some of the other new elements inside the latest cBuilder. So we've gone through content blocks. This menu button here could be quite handy for campaigns. This is our pre-build. Rather than having to create new content from scratch each time, we've included kind of a mini template gallery of pre-built sections which you can drag and drop and use straight away. So I'll show you what I mean. So up here we've got headers. Here's a series of pre-built headers, footers, product box, featured images, galleries, and more. So I'll show you one. Let's try adding it to the design. Let's add a product. Here we go, this nice one. We can drag across. Here we go, and we've got some product boxes ready to use. So rather than having to start from scratch each time, you can use one of the pre-built elements, just mouse over it, swap your images, pricing, and click through links, and you're good to go. And you'll see in here, we've got quite a wide selection of options to use. And some of them, they look really cool. Next, we're going to nip on to favorite blocks. So we had favorite blocks in the older cBuilder, but we've worked to improve this and streamline it a lot more. It makes it now a lot easier to use and manage. As you mouse over any block, you'll see we've got a little heart symbol. And as you mouse over a content group, again, we have a heart symbol. So you can favorite these to use them again and again in any campaign. This is perfect if you've designed your footer or header and you're always going to use it. You don't want to have to design it from scratch each time. So let's favorite this one. Just give it a name. And optionally, you can give it a description. This is just for your reference to remind you what it is. Here we go. And say this image we want to use again and again, rather than having to manually add it to every campaign. Mouse over it, favorite, give it a name, hit save, and we can see it's been added. And you can access it from the favorites tab over here. Now, if you want to use it, here's our new product box, and that's ready to go. Likewise, for your content, so remember we favorited this chair, and there we go, there's another one. So these are available to use in any campaign. Okay, so the final option inside here is the main campaign settings. So This element you should be largely familiar with. We've tried to keep it consistent, but we've made a few tweaks to make it a little easier and give you a few more options. So you have the campaign layout styles: fixed, hybrid, and now letter. Letter used to be what we called fluid mode. So we've optimized this a little bit. This is perfect for text-based mailers where you want it just to look like a Microsoft Outlook email, not like a fancy newsletter. As before, we'd recommend sticking with hybrid. There's a nice modern approach and it looks fantastic in email readers. In addition to that, inside the design menu, one of the other things you asked for to give you a little bit more flexibility is to change the design width. So most email readers would recommend a width of 600 pixels for your content. So this content here is 600 pixels wide. But if you want to, you can customize this. You can use the drag handle to drag it out, so now your campaign becomes wider, or alternatively, campaign becomes smaller. And if you want to go back to the recommended 600 pixels, done. Okay, that's a whistle-stop tour of the latest campaign builder. I really hope you enjoy using it, and we've listened to tons of your feedback to make it really intuitive and really easy to use. But remember, if you want to design a quick campaign and you don't have the time to learn the latest cBuilder right now, even though we're trying to keep everything super simple, down at the bottom right, we have a button, Revert to Legacy Builder. So you can revert to the older builder if you like to. But we've got some exciting new features for you to try.